it was such a great lead-in from Chris's story, because it's all about the addiction to worry, right? And meditation is something that can really help us with a ruminating mind, with a mind that is out of control, with a mind that is worried, fearful, sad, grieving. Meditation, at least the type of meditation that I teach called mindfulness, can take us to a place where we're connected into the present moment. And that's not always easy to do. I was asked to tell a little bit about my story, and I will say that when I got started meditating, it was a number of years ago, 25 or more years ago. I was living in India. I was in the Dharamsala, where the Dalai Lama has a government in exile, so that's when I first met the Dalai Lama and was starstruck at the time. And I was not so interested in meditation. I didn't really know why, or if it was something that I would get into. But I would go and listen to some of the teachings, and I found myself just really a little skeptical, but very curious. And I remember there was this one moment where there was this teaching, and the teaching was about how there's always these pairs of opposites in the world, that there are times of pleasure and times of pain. There are times of gain and times of loss. There are times of fame and times of disrepute or lack of fame. And there's times of praise and times of blame. And that there are these opposites that exist in the world, and we're constantly going back and forth between the two. But the thing is, we're always looking for the really positive one, right? We're always in search of the praise and the pleasure and the fame, and yet it eludes our grasp. Ultimately, it all kind of fades away, and you end up with the opposite, because that's just the nature of reality. And I remember hearing that teaching, and I was sitting at the time in a little monastery and listening, and suddenly I heard it, and something inside me clicked, and I went, oh my God, this explains my life. I had spent the past decade running after success. I was very type A, very driven, wanting people to love me, wanting praise, and that was all I wanted. And when people rejected me, or I wasn't up to certain standards, I felt terrible. I felt this shame, and I realized that there was this constant movement back and forth between the two in a way that was really, really made me so unhappy. And so I was left hanging there for about a couple minutes before someone said to me, the teacher said, there is a way out of this, and that is about having a mind that can be okay even amid the ups and downs of life. That peace is possible, and it's a peace that's about inner peace. It's not about the conditions outside us. It's about how we can live in a place of peace and connection to ourselves, where we're not thrown around because of the conditions of life, but there's a deeper peace that really holds us. So that's what meditation is about for me. This is mindfulness that I teach and that I practice. But that's what moved me, and that's what got me going on my journey. And then I just started a lot of meditation practice after that. So I want to offer you, we'll do a little bit of mindfulness practice, and just if you're not familiar with it, mindfulness, the definition I use is paying attention to our present moment experiences with openness and curiosity and a willingness to be with what is. So it's really about how do we live in the present moment. Most of the time, if you were to check into your mind through the course of the day, you'd notice that you're in the past, thinking about what happened, replaying it, ruminating, wishing it had been different. Or you're in the future, planning for what's coming up, obsessing, catastrophizing, worst case scenario, like that great story we heard. Sometimes we're in the present moment, but oftentimes we're in the present moment wishing it were a different present moment. So mindfulness is this invitation into this moment, right here and now. There's many types of meditation. I know for those of you who come regularly to the Shine, there's different meditation instruction that's offered each time. This is a particular practice that teaches us to come back into the moment. And it opens up an avenue for more gratitude and connection and compassion because we're really here. We're not missing our lives. You know, so much of the time we're running around and we're so busy and we're trying to achieve all our goals, and there's nothing wrong with achieving goals. It's wonderful to do, but we miss the day-to-day moments of life. You ever get in the car and get out of the car and you have no idea what happened in between? I mean, this happens to people all the time. So with mindfulness, we can learn to come into the moment and appreciate life and connect with that part of us, that deep, still place that's beyond all of the worries and concerns of life, but that's just right here inside us right now. So we're going to do a meditation now, and just to say, you may not connect with a deep, still place. You may sit there and notice that your mind is thinking about 800 things, and you're barely able to be mindful, even for a minute. Completely normal. This is what happens to people. Their minds run all over the place, but what we do is we learn to bring it back into the moment. So I just invite you to settle back in your chair and be comfortable the best you can. You can put your feet on the floor. Put your feet on the floor and put your hands wherever they're comfortable, hands on your lap or on your knees or whatever you want. Turn off your phones if you haven't done that. And if you're welcome to close your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes. Some people are not comfortable closing their eyes, and that's okay. If you keep them open, keep them looking mostly downward, not all around the room. And let's begin by taking a few deep breaths. And as you take these deep breaths, just have a sense of all that it took to get you here, just letting it all go, if possible, and just coming into this moment here in this room with a few inhalations and exhalations. You can notice your body present on the chair. You can feel your feet on the floor, and just notice the way your feet contact the floor. There's heaviness and hardness and touch, warmth. You can notice your legs as they make contact with the chair. How about your back up against the chair? You can feel that. There's heaviness, hardness, pressure. Notice your stomach area. See if your stomach is tense or tight, and see if you can allow it to soften. Just take a breath into the stomach area. Let's listen to the train for a moment, just listening. In fact, turn your attention to the sounds in the room. There's lots of sounds. But see if you can listen without getting caught in a whole story about the sounds. Just listening to the sounds as if you were listening to music. Open, curious. Sounds are coming and going. And now coming back into our bodies, noticing our hands, letting our hands be soft. Noticing your arms and shoulders softening, just letting things be, relaxing to the best of your abilities. And then noticing your face and facial muscles, let your jaw be soft. Relax. Now begin to notice that your body is breathing. And at this point, let your breath be in its own natural rhythm. And see if you can feel your breath in your body, your abdomen rising and falling, expanding and contracting. Your chest rising and falling, expanding and contracting. Or maybe you feel the air moving through your nose, in and out, tingling movement. So let's choose something to focus on. And listen to the sound. So we can focus on our breath in our abdomen or chest or nose. Or we can continue listening to the sounds. Just pick something. Doesn't matter what you pick. Pick whichever felt the most interesting or easiest. Noticing breath after breath or sound after sound, moment after moment. Now at some point, your mind will probably wander away and you'll start thinking about all sorts of other things. When this happens, you're not doing anything wrong. It's completely normal. When you notice your mind has wandered, just gently return it to the sensations of breathing or the listening, either one. So I'm going to stop talking. We'll do just a couple minutes of silence. As you sit here, as we bring the meditation to a close, just remind yourself of one thing that you're grateful for in your life. See whatever pops into your mind. And notice what that is, and notice how that feels to bring it to mind. Something to remember, to hold. And just notice the impact of the meditation on your body and mind. Notice how you're doing, how you're feeling. Let's feel our feet on the floor one last time. Here we are in this present moment together. And whenever you're ready, feel free to open your eyes. So thank you for practicing, and for all of us doing this together. It's a great piece of what happens tonight, and I'm honored to be here with all of you. Thank you.